So Lydia, we're out here at Scottsdale National Golf Club today. You're about 7 under through 12 holes.
Six.
But who's counting?
I see you got the new Gen 2 irons in there. What was the process like of getting those in versus the Gen 1s?
It was actually pretty easy. As soon as I tried them, I really loved the feel of it. And I actually got new iron shafts in there. So with the new iron shafts and the combo of the new Gen 2 irons, I thought they worked great. They felt a little bit softer through impact, which is a huge thing for me because I like to feel a lot. And it went a little higher in ball flight, which is another bonus because I don't really hit it that high. So yeah, and I've been loving it. And everybody, I mean, my group, they've been loving it. So it's great. And I think it's the big thing I realized that when I miss it, the distance isn't that far off, which is a huge thing because sometimes you're gonna miss hit it, but if the distance isn't that short or that long, it just makes it a little bit more consistent.
And I saw you went with the P's instead of the T's or a combo set. Did you go through a fitting?
In my original 0311s, I tried the T's versus the original 0311s, but I just like the P's in this, and I feel like it just gets the ball launching a little higher, and I just like the way it looks. So it was no doubt in my mind that I was going to go with the P's here.
Awesome.
Right. So how do they get through the ground for you? I mean, as a great player, and one of the most important things is how that club is working through the turf. So have you found them to be okay as you're moving into this new set?
Yeah, no, I think it's been really good, and I've been able to test it out well because Australian Open's been pretty firm grounds,
yeah.
and then whereas Thailand and Singapore is a little bit softer, so I've been able to kind of play it in different firmness of the turf, and they've been going through great, and especially in the grain where sometimes it can get caught. I didn't really have that of a problem where it was kind of rolling up the face, so it's good that it can consistently go through no matter what the grass condition is.
Very good, very good. Hey, I was just going to ask you, I know we've done a little bit of work on wedges, and you've been using this new wedge that we basically milled out for you. How's it working for you around the green? Again, kind of the same question as far as the turf interaction. When you play off a firm turf or fluffy turf, how's this wedge performing for you in those various conditions?
It's been really good. I have 13 degrees of bounce, which may seem a lot, but where in the firm ground that it might be too much, but no, I didn't feel that way at all in Australia. I was able to hit some spin shots that sometimes, I would have had to bounce it into the hill, so it's good to have both options. And some people joked about saying, "Hey, is this illegal at all?" And no, I think that's how good it is. And it's been good to work with you, and just to be able to kind of see what works best, and nice to have those options. And I think it's helped me out in the bunkers, and I've been having to make up and down a little bit these last few weeks, and I've been able to do that pretty well, so hopefully I can continue to do that. But it's good to be confident out there and to know that you're able to pull off some shots that sometimes you thought you might not have been able to.
Right. So you mentioned that we have 13 degrees of bounce on this. A lot of people would be afraid to use a high lofted wedge with that much bounce. But I think what we need to point out is, the 13 degrees of bounce is the angle of the sole, right, relative to the ground. So it's popping up here at about 13 degrees. But the playable bounce has to do with the width. So if we took 13 degrees and made this significantly wider, it would play like it has too much bounce. She would struggle to try to get that club face on the ball consistently, but with the right width, that angle really works well from a lot of different conditions. You heard her say that even though she's playing off a really firm, tight conditions, and I just saw you play a pitch shot that was magnificent, by the way, firm, tight conditions, you can still put that 13 degrees of bounce on the ball very, very consistently. But when you go to a fluffier type of turf, that angle really helps then as well to not get into the ground too much. So the combination of the angle, the design of the lead edge, and the width basically makes up how that club's going to play. So nice job, and it's really fun to work with. Probably the best wedge player I've ever seen in my life. In fact, one of the first times I had to work with her, we started with this wedge, and she started to hit some shots off of incredibly tight turf, and I couldn't believe how much she was spinning the ball, on a very short shot, and I actually had to capture some video so that I had that on record, because she has a technique that is beautiful, and it's fun to watch. No, it's all thanks to you.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Good luck at the West Coast swing, Lydia.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thanks, guys.